Hey guys, today we are going to work on two different things. First, we're going to talk about the similarities and differences between expressions and equations. And then we're going to talk about independent and dependent variables. Okay, so an expression is a math problem that does not have an equal sign. So no equal sign. Equations are math problems that do have equal signs. Okay. An expression is like a math phrase. It's incomplete. Whereas an equation is like a complete math sentence. So it is complete. Make sure you're filling in the notes along with me. All right, when we're working out expressions, we say that we are evaluating the expression or simplifying the expression. That's kind of the fancy schmancy math talk for saying that we're working it out. Equations, though, we say that we are solving the equation. Okay? So some examples of expressions, we have 2 times 4 plus 8. So we can see we have all numbers in there. We've got symbols like the plus sign and the parentheses. Okay, and another one, we have 4x plus 5. That's another expression. And neither of these have an equal sign. Like, that is the big giveaway. There's no equal sign, so it is an expression. It is not an equation. Whereas over here on the equation side, we can see that it has an equal sign. So 4 plus 4 equals 10 minus 2, or 4x plus 5 equals 18. Both of those are equations because they have an equal sign. Okay? Now, the center part here is where we put the characteristics of both, right? So this part is for both of them. So both expressions and equations might have numbers, variables, or operations. So we might see adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, or we might even see like parentheses. Okay, you can see that in expressions or equations. And they could be numeric, which means they just have numbers and symbols, like this one right here, 2 times 4 plus 8, or this one, 4 plus 4 equals 10 minus 2. Or they could be algebraic, which means they have a letter in them. So we have an algebraic expression here, 4x plus 5, because it has an x in it. And an algebraic equation, 4x plus 5 equals 18. Okay? But our bottom line, if we see an equal sign, then it is an equation. If we don't see an equal sign, then it's an expression. To tell me which of the math problems that you see are expressions and which ones are equations. So remember to look for those equal signs. Okay. Now in our last lesson, we kind of touched on independent versus dependent variable. Okay, and we're just going to be practicing that some more today. So our input is always the independent variable. The input is the independent right here. Okay, so on a chart that's going across, the input is that first row. So this is our independent. And that's always the x. Okay, on our graph, the x is right here. So this is our independent variable. And then our y is our dependent variable, the dv. And that's the second row, or the y-axis, okay? So we just need to be able to like label them, okay? So on this first graph, we have clay available for classes and clay brought by teacher. So this is a graph, so the x-axis is going to be the independent variable. So independent variable, which means the y-axis is the dependent variable. Okay, next we have a table with time and hours and cost. So our input is always the independent variable, and our output is the dependent variable. So cost is dependent. On our next little table here, we have time and distance. So time is our input, so it is our independent variable, and distance is our output, so it is our dependent variable. So IV, dV. And then our next one, we have side length and area of square. So our input is our independent variable, and our area of square, the output, is our dependent variable. So again, IV, dV. And then on our graph, our x is our independent variable. So the practice time, we can also write it here. And then our total practice time, the y, is our dependent variable. Okay, so on your assignment today, you're just going to look at a bunch of pictures and you're going to tell me which one is the independent and which one is the dependent. And remember your IV, dV. Okay, all right, do great on your assignment. If you don't do great the first time, then do it again. And I will see you tomorrow.